What it do, guys? It is your boy Player X here from the Semi Limited Podcast. Back at it again with another installment. Thank you everyone for coming back and listening to us, returning back for another episode. Just want to say thanks. I know we've been a little inconsistent lately just because I'm getting my life back together. I was talking about it with some people behind the scenes, but we are going to stay as consistent as possible. I'm going to fight through as much as I can. Anytime I get a free little hour or so, I'm going to make sure I have enough to dedicate to you guys and commit to this. So, on today's episode, we're going to be diving into what cards we might be getting in this year's Megatins after a few new reveals from Konami. They said they've been dropping new cards each week, and they have at least kept that under the bargain on all their promises. What we'll also be talking about is what we might be getting as far as a ban list, which I think more people we wanted to talk about and have more interest in. And also what decks we could be making a run for the top spot after the fall of Snake Eyes, or presumed fall of Snake Eyes. We'll also be joined by a special guest tonight, so be sure to check out who that is as we get into it. But before all of that, let's get into these sponsored plugins, guys. You already know the deal. Go to that Linktree link down in the description box below to follow all of our social sites. You'll click it, a tab pops up, and you're just going to click follow, subscribe, share, comment, whatever it is. You're going to be sure to communicate with not only us, but your friends as well to let them know what the best TCG podcast is. And we'll make sure to do more giveaways as we hit more accolades. So 50 followers on TikTok, 100 on X or Twitter, whatever you're calling it nowadays. 200 followers on IG and Discord, and then 500 subs on YouTube. We're gonna make that big jump there. Shout outs to Unplugged Gaming and Manlius, New York, for sponsoring the podcast. Be sure to join their Discord server in the description box below, just to be a part of their TCG communities as well. Anything that's got a cardboard addiction, they got some sort of remedy for it. So you can go down there, maybe be interested in a new game like Lorcana or One Piece. Maybe you're just a good old head. You like the big three like Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. It doesn't matter what your likings are. They got accommodations for you there. So be sure to pop in store and tell them that the boys over at the Semi Limited Podcast sent you. All right. And then also be sure to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His Twitch will be in our Linktree link down below as well. He's usually doing things like deck crafting, theorizing, do a lot of play testing, especially with the regional coming up in Millennium Games at the end of September. Most people are preparing for that. So be sure to check that out when we start getting to that point. But it's also just everything he wants to do, like Master Duel and stuff like that. But before we start digging into today's episode, I'd like to introduce our guest for today. He's been on the podcast before, another returning guest. He's also one of the members of our brother podcast down there in New York City. So we're lucky to have him. Please be a big warm welcome for our boy George from Heart of the Podcast.
You forgot to mention the king of the Qs.
No.
It was just a mere year ago that I went to the Qs and left undefeated. I'm just saying.
You went undefeated in 3 rounds and then left. So just let that context be also said. You know what? I'll give you that. I won't give you King of Qs, but he is undefeated champion of whatever.
There we go. I'll take it. I'll take it.
There, you know.
I'll take it.
Did you want to introduce yourself, or you want to be plugins, shout outs, like that you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they recognize me. I have George from Heart of the Podcast. Shout out to Mel Z. I don't know if I want to shout Joseph out this time around.
Pyramid.
Oh, I gotta shout out the boy. I have to shout out my boy Kevin. My boy really. We were talking about it today about he really tried to negate Exodia.
He tried to Mercurier. Yeah, this is today's anniversary when he got
Can I negate it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's like, yo, the opponent showed him Exodia, and he looks at me and goes, yo, can I activate this? And it's a copy of Mercurier. Bro, hilarious. Gotta love it, you know?
Yeah, man.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really been too active lately, but hopefully we jump back on the train like you did. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Heart of the Podcast. Listen to us. We've had some pretty good episodes. We have a couple of episodes that you on. They should definitely check out. But yeah, I guess we'll all have to talk about getting back on that. Getting back on the train.
Absolutely, got to get back on that horse and start traveling. You know.
There we go.
with all that out of the way now, let's start digging into today's episode. And we're going to start off with some of the reveals to us from the 2024 Megatin that are releasing later on this year on September 20th, 2024. Earlier on today, we were given a few more cards to add onto the list of reveals that for this year's tins that are been given to us from Konami. And it looks like today we were given Bahamut Shark, Dark Magician Girl OG art, Toon Kingdom, and Cosmic Blazar. On top of that, all of these cards are also getting the QCR treatment. So not only are all these cards confirmed now, but they're all also confirmed for a QCR treatment. So like, did you like any of these choices? Did you think that some of these choices were a little out there, like, or that they're all kind of respected for the format that we're finding ourselves to be in?
I don't know if I'd say respected in the current format these cards, but I don't mind it. I don't mind that. I don't mind a QCR Dark Magician Girl. That's
I
really
mean, yeah,
probably what.
they've been like kind of jamming that like those high rarities in our face the last couple of years with like the ghost rare and now the QCR. You know what I'm saying? The platinum
Yeah, no, for
rare.
sure. I fucking hate Platinum Rare, but QCRs I'm not mad at. Because they're here now, and in 2 years from now, people are gonna be like, "Well, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that." I know some people just fucking hate QCRs, dude. Hate them. But I mean, I don't think they're terrible. I've seen worse rarities.
I don't think that
Maximum
they're
gold,
ugly.
premium gold.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't.
not
Yeah.
ugly. I hate what they represent. They represent the slaughtering of the second market. That's what they represent.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
They. Yeah.
That's what I can't stand. I can't take what they stand for.
Oof. I mean,
But I mean, I, did you like really think that these cards deserved QCR treatment? I should say. I think it's a better question.
I don't think so. I think at this point, like they're oversaturating the QCR pool. I feel like every card is going to get a QCR at some point, and it's like, do we really need that? Did we really need a Bahamut
I'm trying
Shark
to say it was
QCR?
like yeah, exactly like QCR, Bahamut Shark. Like they just did Toon Kingdom and Ulti a couple like OTS packs ago. Cosmic Blazar, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Dark Magician Girl, even the OG art, okay, nostalgia bait. I'll even toss you that one. But like cards like Toon Kingdom, come on, we're gonna eventually and shortly after this start reading over some of the reprints that are confirmed. And like as we start reading over it, I guarantee you, especially when we go over the QCR section, you're gonna be like, why is this here? Like why? Like that's what I
Thousand
was want to. I
percent.
want to shake someone at Konami and be like, "Why is this here? Why did you put? Who put this here? Who thought this was a
Who
good
okayed
idea?"
this?
Yeah, they just got their they just got
Who
their
gave
like
the?
their mental cousin in the back just sitting there. Yeah, throw on the shark. I want a shark in there too. But you know what? Yeah, throw a
Like
Bahamut shark in them. Throw him a bone.
dude, somebody bought in their bulk and there was and just started pulling random cards out of their bulk. Like, oh, Bahamut Shark, QCR, one a day, one a day.
Everyone's
Just
just gonna pull a card from bulk. Yeah, this is the QCR of the week. This is the one.
I'm convinced that's how they do it. There's no way. Some of these cards are crazy. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
Makes no
at
sense.
least with the, especially with the lineup that we have, like if as we're adding on to those cards, we now also have the following cards confirmed for the reprints this year, uh, for the rarities that they're going to be in. Obviously, there are more cards that are on the list as confirmed for the tins, but we don't know the rarities yet. So just as far as rarities, this is what we have confirmed so far. So for the QCR slots and our 2024 Megatins this year, we have Blue Eyes White Dragon, the OG art. We have Toon Kingdom. Dark Magician Girl now OG art. XYZ Dragon Cannon alternate art. We have red, yellow, and green gadget. Wing Karibo alternate art. U Bell, Honest, Cosmic Blazar Dragon, Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, number 39 Utopia Double, Bahamut Shark, Phantom Knights of the Silent Boots, Speedroid Terratop, Dino Wrestler Pinkertops, F Zero Utopic Draco Future, and Tyrant Red Archfiend Dragon. Coming in for the prismatic secret rares for this year's tins, we have Dark Magician Girl alternative art. We also have Red Eyes Black Dragon alternative art, Tuning alternative art, Raigeki alternative art, Limiter removal alternative art. Up for those local players. Harpy's Feather Duster alternative art, Invoke Macabre alternative art, Invocation is as well as an alternative art, and then we also have reprints to Elemental Hero, Shining Neo's Wingman, Cashier Theosis, let's go. Triple Tactics Thrust, Guiding Quem, that's actually a good one right there. I should probably go back and talk about the rest. Guiding Quem, the Virtuous, Chaos Angel, Superstar, Slayer, Typhon, Sky, Crisis, Wanted, Seeker of the Sinful Spoils, and Transaction Rollback. And then coming in at the Ultra slot that we have confirmed for the Tins this year is Melfi Hide and Seek, which didn't really need to be an Ultra. Galaxy Summoner, don't even know what card that is. Dynamundo, which all right, cool, it can get one. Vanadium Imaginings, Unchanged Soul of Shayama. Then we have Q-Belt, the Blade Dragon. That's all that matters. Starling, Stare of the Snake Eyes. I'm assuming that's one of the quick play spells. We also have Ken and Jen of the Warrior Dragon and Diamond Tiger, respectively. And then we also have Pit Knight Fully, Angel of Blue Tears. Yuck, disgusting. And finally, Purely Delicious Memory coming in the Ultra slot. So are you guys sorry? Are you stoked for this? As far as like what we're going to be getting so far this year? Do you guys think that we need more picks to get you more invested into the set coming up, or like is this like enough to kind of like all right, I'm in, you know?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. Right now, this is hot garbage. But as a Megatin enthusiast, I'm gonna buy it regardless. Even if this was the I, back in 2019 when I started playing, I came in around when the Megatins came out, and dude, I was buying Megatins everywhere. Everywhere I would see one, I would pick one up, pick two up, and then from then on, it was just like I'll get a case of Megatins every year, even though I know there's hot garbage in that Megatin. I'm like, I now I need to do it. It's just that uh nostalgia for me to open up that Megatin. But there's some cards here that are pretty cool. I love a set of QCR Blue Eyes White Dragon, the OG art. Amazing. Same thing with Dark Magician Girl. Why red, yellow, and green gadget are a thing is beyond me. That's crazy. For what? For what?
Bro, what are you talking about? Those are great picks.
Well, I could have
You
done
tell me
without
one
the.
reason they shouldn't be on that list.
I Yeah, you're right. I can't think of one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just like I don't know. Panker Tops, love that for him. He deserves it. He's a
I
good
know.
boy.
He has a cute. He has
Deserves
a
to be up
CR.
there.
He's got a collector's rare.
Yeah, I know, but I appreciate the QCR for him. Uh, the alt arts. I'm a huge fan of the alt arts for the those top three: Dark Magician, Red Eyes, and Blue Eyes. I love the ones from
Mm-hmm.
was it last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, Megatins. They had
Well,
the
but say they're
alt
not
art.
doing the blue eyes alternate art. They're just doing the red eyes and the dark magician girl because in last year's tin they did the blue eyes one, so they got like the alternative art for that one. Yeah, yeah. So now you get the dark magician girl one, you get the red eyes one, the one that we didn't get last year that we also don't have in the TCG. It's that really cool looking one. So that's
Yeah.
actually kind of looking to get one of those. And I did like the alternate arts for those.
The I love the alt art for Raigeki. Harpies, Feather Duster, Limited Removal. I just want to have those just to have them.
I
Uh,
think I might like Raigeki more than Duster. I've been playtesting on EDO Pro with some of these cards, and like I've just been like using the newer artworks just to see if I like
Raigeki.
them when they're activated and shit. Like the Raigeki one looks cool. Limited removal definitely looks cool. Duster, I'm not a big fan of. Mecha Buzz definitely a step up from the old art, but I don't know, something about that old art just it's almost like when they did the like you know that meme for the alternate art of access code talker when it's just that
Oh
one guy just
God.
I
Oh.
feel like that's what it feels like. Like if it looks good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that's like the night and day difference between like Mechaba. Invocation, same thing. Like the new invocation looks cool, but the old one looks like just so much better. Like the artwork just is I don't know, just more eye catching, I would say.
I
So
love that Thrust is finally getting reprinted. Uh,
a
but
real
and
reprint, yes, yes, a
yeah,
real
like an
reprint.
actual reprint, right? Not a fucking ultimate rare reprint. Chaos Angel. It's good. I think that's a good pick too. Sky
Especially
Crisis,
as a
meh.
prismatic, yeah.
Eh.
What were you
I
saying?
I just Sky Crisis is. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
whatever. I guess it's if it's there, it's there. I'm not, nobody. I don't think anybody's buying the tins just for this card. Then honestly, the ultra rares are just
I
there.
mean, I know they will buy it for SP. I know Flambers is announced.
Oh,
Like, there's a couple cards who are definitely announced to be in this tins that just we don't have the rarities for. I just wanted to bring the rarities to people's minds. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously there'd be more cards that try to get people to buy the tins in itself, but like just these are just so far the rarities that we have, and I think that although we have a good amount, like the slots could be different, like, but that's I think my gripe with every year's Megatins is like who is in charge of making these. I don't even care who's in charge of picking the cards because like they're obviously two different departments. Who's in charge of giving these cards rarities because they're just horrible. They are horrible at it sometimes. Like why, like you say, why are we giving QCRs to red, green, or sorry, red, yellow, and green? Like why are we giving QCRs to silent boots? If we're gonna do QCRs, I hate when they do that too. If we're gonna do QCRs, do a whole archetype of QCRs. Why are we doing one like side card
Yeah.
of an archetype like silent boots? Like yeah, I know the new one. What was the what's to do with the torrent scales or whatever? He
Hmm.
came out as a Starlight in the core set, which made sense. But like, why are we doing torn boots? You know what I'm saying? Why are we not doing the trap card? Why are we not doing like any of the XY or any of the Link monsters? Or what was it? Fucking the Link 2
Uh,
that fucking dumps a
uh,
3. I don't remember the fucking name for it right now. But like you could have done any of these other side ones, or the
literally,
extra deck monsters. Like why are we doing these random ones? Like that's the guy I want to choke the fuck out. It's like yo, who are you and why are you making these decisions? You know, you're
who
making
gave
bad
you?
calls.
I
Who
guess there
gave you this
has to be
power?
like there has to be garbage picks though, because it's like they all can't be winners.
I understand the
They
two
all can't be
the
winners.
different departments, but like once you get these garbage picks, if someone comes to you and says, "You ever watch those like TikToks where they take like fast food and like they make it gourmet and
Yes.
they like use the ingredient?" That's what I expect them to do with it. Someone gave you a shit list. All right, cool. Make it better with the rarities, and you just shat on it more. You made us
I
more
don't think
pissed combined.
I don't
You
think
know?
yeah, I don't think red, yellow, and green gadget are any better because they're QCRs.
Are they in Edison or something? Am I not missing a whole sect of like people?
I don't think you are.
Is
You
is that
might
in
be.
like Goat or something?
I don't
Like
think Goat
it's not
is
a
red
critical
gadget.
card in a past format. If it is, then I apologize to you and your old ass format. But either way, in today's day, in
The future is now,
2024,
old
I should
man.
not like that dead ass. I should not be getting those reprints now. I'm paying for your sins. Fuck that. Give me
Yeah,
give
fuck
me
that.
better slots.
Seriously, just like hit him with the future is now, old man.
I know they're not doing
Yeah, but
another
like I said,
QCR for SP or sorry, yeah, SP Little Night, just because I know they said they aren't going to QCR everything that's been QCR'd, but that means it's probably either going to be Prismatic Secret or it's going to be an Ultra. If it's Ultra,
Ultra
I think it is probably. I think it should be Ultra because it should be a better
more
card.
accessible.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It should be more accessible. I think so personally, but that's just the way I look at
I
it. I
agree. I agree.
just because like these critical cards, like you wonder why there's people not in attendance in these events, and it's because like your cards are just crazy to get. Like SP
Dude, I
was for
traded
the longest time, even before these murmurs of a reprint, was like 120
140
$140. I
bucks.
remember, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. About to say, I remember when they were up there. So like,
Yeah,
you
dude. I
expect someone
traded
to
my
just
whole
shell out that for it? So
dude, I traded my whole Pokemon deck and like 30 bucks on top for an SP Little Knight.
see exactly, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you had to go do the most just for one card that
One card, dude.
everyone's
And
gonna
now
be
it's
playing.
yep. But yeah, you're
And
right.
that's
It's tough to like justify why like, uh why players are like leaving. A lot of people stop playing the game because they're getting priced out of it. And not just that, it's also like the frustration of like, oh, if you're not playing this, you're not winning. And I see the frustration, you know what I mean? I was playing Fire King Snake Eyes and I played Pure Snake Eyes, and then when the Fiendsmith stuff came out, I can't do it. I refuse to shell out any more money to fucking continue playing Snake Eyes. So I switched over to Runic Stun. $100 deck does me well.
saying that, and even the runic cards got like reprinted in that year's 10, made them accessible. Like people, like they were. I'm pretty sure it didn't cost you a pretty penny to get your hands on that core. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh no.
it's accessible. You know what I'm saying? It's got reprinted. It's got the original in a low rarity, with the exception of like the fucking one card. I think there's like one or two cards that still only come in that rare. for them. But either way, like you guys have gotten upgrades throughout the years and whatever, and it still just made it a little bit more of attainable to the point where now you're playing it because you can obtain the cards. Some people can't have access to those cards at higher like peaks. Like when Wanted first came out, I remember vividly paying $300 for my Wanted package, and that only included the Wanteds. There wasn't even the witches that I had to go separately get. There wasn't the flamberges that spiked that I had to separately get. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's obviously my choice. I'm not trying to put it on anyone, and I obviously had the money at the time to go do things like that. But I shouldn't have to go spend $450 or damn near one person's whole paycheck just to play a card game in our like a luxury. You know what I'm saying? Our side time. Like that just seems a little ludicrous to me, a little ridiculous. That's
It,
just what I'm saying. You know?
no, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's kind of crazy to think that, like I said, Wanted was like $100+ card. Bonfire was $100+ card. Which was
I'll look at them.
up there also. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Trash. They're all fucking trash. Not trash, but the prices are trash. I think bonfires are like fucking $30 now, if that. Wanteds are like fucking $20. The black witches are like
It's like $20 also.
$15. Yeah, dead ass. They're
Yeah.
like crazy just because like witch is about to be in the set as well, and it's also has a QCR, so it's not gonna get a QCR in the tins, but it will get a lower rarity. Hopefully, that's another card I could see is like a super or an ultra as well. Like we
I
shouldn't be
see that
giving
too.
secret rares, prismatic rare treatments as well. I think that's fucking stupid. It diminishes the value of the core set secret, as well as takes up another slot that could have gone to something that deserved another secret. You
Upgrade.
know? Yeah,
So here's the
exactly.
thing
That's what
also
I'm
that
looking
I've
at.
realized, and I'm sure you know too, whenever Konami makes cards accessible, it's right when they're about to hit it. You're right when they're about to get hit.
They do that
And
sometimes. Yes, there is accounts
it's
for
like,
it. There's evidence for it. Yes, I agree.
yeah, they love to tease you. They're like, oh yeah, you can play it. It's not that expensive.
Yeah,
You
buy
buy
Barone.
it.
Yeah, buy the
Exactly.
Savage. You need it for your snake eyes.
Get it.
Psych. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what they do. I mean, and I get it, right? I understand they have to sell product, otherwise, how else are they going to stay in business? But I don't know. It's kind of a scummy thing to do to your players, like especially like the players that really don't have the money to shell out, right? Because
So they finally get
so
access to it, and it gets fucking banned.
yeah, exactly. It's like they only play for like a week, and then it's like banned. Then it's like, well,
That's when
tough
it's like,
shit.
geez, yeah, for real, you're fucked,
Feels
guy.
bad. Yeah, that's how I was with. I refused to buy Baron de Floor. Refused, and then when I got it out of the rarity collection, played it for maybe like a month or two, and it's like, banned. Well, fuck me, I guess.
That are there any things that you think are hoping to be included in the set that hasn't been announced yet, like that hasn't been confirmed in it, regardless of rarity?
Uh,
Because I know like they're doing like the Horus engine too, like Mcetti's getting in there.
oh, that's right. That's what I was
Um,
thinking of because I'd love to pick up the Oris engine for cheap. I'd
Yeah, I
love
was
to
about to
start
say
playing.
because I'm pretty sure I know you like that engine. Like that's something that is I think gonna be good. I'm just saying, like things like that. Like they can give upgrades to Memento. They can give upgrades to Centurion and shit like that. Like that we have seen throughout like these reprint seasons. Like you know what I'm saying. Like those are things I would be cool with because like Bone Party is like reaching like fucking $40 or some shit like that just because it's like a
Crazy.
good card for a bad archetype. You know what I'm saying? So some people need those to kind of like push by and shit like that. So those are the cards I would want to see in the Megatins, at least for this year, and regardless of the rarity. You know,
Yeah, I agree. I agree 1,000%, yo.
yeah. But speaking of new things coming from Konami, everyone on the entire game has been on the edge of their seat, waiting for the ban list to drop. As Konami stated, it would come at the end of August. Well, guess what, Konami? It is now the end of August. And with that being said, I think it's time to play one of our famous games of 3, 2, 1 ban. All right, the rules of the game are simple. Everyone loves it. You know, you guys have heard it if you've been on the podcast before. You're gonna tell us in your own words three cards that you think can go to three, two cards that you think can go to two, or either going 2-2 or from 3 to 2. One card that should be at one or limited, and then finally, what card or cards do you think should be banned because they are the biggest problems of the format and they need to be dealt with. All right, so I'll go first, just that way you got some time to get your choices in order and like kind of think about some things. But if
I
I'm going three,
appreciate
two,
that.
one, my three is all of the dragon rulers. Them bitches can go to three. I'm not even gonna individualize them and take up more slots. All of them bitches go to three. Who gives a fuck about dragon ruler format? All these past formats, spellbook of fucking fade or whatever the fuck the field spell was, or like judgment, whatever the good card. It's not even a field spell. I think it's just all quick plays or whatever. But they all need like put them all to three. No one gives a fuck. I also have Pinkertops going to three. We're not playing him at fucking two. Put his ass to three. So we have something against these fucking floodgates that you just love putting at one. There's nothing else. There's no other proactive way to deal with him. He doesn't need to be getting the malicious treatment. And then Lightning Storm to three. I can't believe this card's still at two. It's a meme of a fucking hit. Like either make it at three or put it at one. Like we either are putting it at one like Duster and all that shit. But I think that's a bad call. I think we should have all those cards at three. But that's just maybe the inner Tempai player in me. But Lightning Storm to two is just so weird because it's like when they hit it, it wasn't even being played at more than like two or three. I don't think they were putting three Duster or three Lightning in the side just because you didn't know if you were gonna like see it or not. Like, but I mean, either way, I don't think that needs to be a two. Put that shit at three or ban that shit. We're canceling it. Going to two. These are the wacky ones for some people. I actually have a couple hits, or I would say a couple raises. I want miscellaneous source to go to two because I think that Dino
Interesting.
players. I understand the gripe with Dino players not playing the deck with Misk at one because if anything happens to your Misk, if it gets ashed or if you uh, get to a main phase you don't kill for game and like you need to like a follow up, like there is no real follow up besides hopefully you have another OV in hand that you just precariously search throughout your like combo because otherwise there's no follow up. At least now there's like a Miskin graveyard that you can kind of get to. You could search one with any of the fossil digs or in your OV searches and shit. It just gives the deck a little bit more so that way they can at least try to play because as of right now they're just not playing. So like let's give them a little like let's give them a little oomph. I also have Cyframe Gamma coming up to two at its proper spot, so that way you can play two Gamma and the one driver. I think that at one it's just not worth the investment with the Garnet that you have to potentially play and see in your opening hand. But at two, it might be worth the investment just because you're likely more to see the Gamma over the driver. We're in a format where it's probably better to have a hand trap that not only negates but also takes away the problem. I feel as though, especially if they're not going to deal with the snake eye problem, that we need to have more cards in our arsenal to deal with those cards and those play styles. So I think Cyframe Gamma can go to two no problem. That's where it should have been. Should have went from three to two and just like tested the waters. But this one shit's crazy. And I also have, just as an honorary mention, the Turia's Sacred Tree. I think that that's another card where it's the same issue. You go from three to one, and now no one can play the deck because it's just so inconsistent to get it back into the deck, especially with the Agito and all the other shufflers being like hit as well. So I just think that you can break it to two. They find a way to mill it. They find a way to mill it, but it's not the sins of Naturia for Agito and Kelbeck and shit. So I think that we can bring that back to two. Going to one, I have this is one or the other. So if we get the errata for Summon Sorceress can come back to one, or is going to come back to one, just so they can test the waters with it. If not, I think the spicy pick going to one might be Fiber Jar for Mimagul. Like that's the only thing I'm trying to like kind of like put in my head is the fact that why would they do this? What kind of support would they just give? Like Mimagul is a TCG exclusive. There's nothing going on in the OCG that would reflect it. It's a fun little card to see if they can kind of gimmick it up, but we've got a lot of destruction and like targeting removal in this format that I don't think Flip Monsters even really have a chance. I still think Mimic Gaming is a bad fucking move. You should not be playing Mimigul right now. If you are Trent, Brad, Devon, oh, you guys are all dumb and you need to sell those cores immediately. And then finally, my band card is one of two cards, the same thing as the above one, but it's either going to be OSS, original Sinful Soil, or Sinful Spoils, or it's going to be Snash, which is Snake Eye Ash. So one or the other. I don't care. Maybe even both. Who fucking knows? But the engine is way too splashable, especially with cards like in engines like Fiendsmith being around now. You can put it in with Infernoid and shit like that. Like the engine is just way too fucking crazy, and like it does a lot. So let's just get rid of the problem child. Get rid of Ash. Leave Oak as a good follow up. You can search pop off your bonfire still. You still can like bring it off. Something else. Like you still pitch it, get it to the field. You still have the temple, big D bells, all that stuff. Like, but we're getting a little bit ridiculous with the whole splashing it everywhere. Into every single archetype, you deal with the splashability, and then also with Snake Eye Ash being gone, you definitely take a hindrance to Snake Eyes that, and also making it so like you can hit the deck in more, I would say, glass cannon places. Like if they have Oak now and they try to bring out the Flamberge, if they Oak send for cost and you Ash Blossom, it's a little bit more impactful now. And instead of just waiting for the normal summon of an Ash, and then like that does theoretically the same shit anyway, So, but what about you? Did you got 3, 2, 1 band ready to go?
Yep,
All
I
right, hit
got
us
it.
with it.
All right, so cards that can go to three is gonna. I agree with you with Tops. Good choice, solid. I don't like. I feel like uh this
Very
what's his
cutesy,
name?
very demure.
Cashtira. Very exact, very demure. What's his name is doing everything that Tops wishes he could do. What's his
Fenrir.
name? Fenrir. So bring him to three. Give him a shot.
Yeah, if Fenrir's at 3, Pankrtot definitely should be at 3.
Yeah, let him cook. Uh this one is gonna be kind of crazy. I know people are gonna oh, well, I don't even care because all my takes are hot takes. Called by the
They
three.
always are. Ooh, call by the
Called by
three
the three.
to
Called
3.
by the three. To three.
You're a fucking
Bring it.
savage. You're a fucking
Bring it back to
savage.
three. There's too many hand traps running around. Everybody's running at least 15 hand traps. It's fucking nuts. And we only have one called by the one. Nah, bring it back to three. Put some fear in these players' hearts again.
Fucking something. There's not even the argument for call by the 3 isn't that you need to put fear in the combo players. 'Cause I once thought that, but then it comes down to all right. Now everyone's playing call by a 3. So like, not only are you hitting the non-engine that's supposed to make your turn good, but if I set my call bys and pass to you, I can hit your actual engine and stop your plays that way as well. So it's like not even like an anti hand trap card; it's an anti
Mm-mm.
anything card. And
Do it.
I was like, all right, maybe. You just
Do
want to
it.
see the world burn, dog.
I just want to
That's
see
what
the
it comes
world
down
burn.
to.
If I'm not having fun, nobody's having fun.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
best take, I think, of the whole night. Mathmech Circular back to three. Make Mathmech great again.
Now I know you're smoking meth. No, you skipped
Make
crack and went straight to meth.
make Mathmech great again. Circular to
All right. So
three. My boy did nothing wrong
this
ever.
is this
My
is the ramblings of a psychotic person. I just want
mine.
everyone to understand and hear this.
All he did was mind his business.
All
He
he
didn't do
did was
anything.
banish a card from the field, from the hand, from the graveyard. Basically, make it so that way he can put an Omni Negate up. He did a lot. He did a lot by himself, and he sent for cost, nigga. Like, what the fuck, bro? You bugging? You bugging?
Ah,
You telling me I can't even Bisteel it until after it's activated in the graveyard in a new chain? Like, no, dog. What?
I don't think he did anything wrong. Nobody's
Did,
playing
did,
Mathmex.
if you didn't think he did anything wrong, you're the problem. But continue. Go off, King.
So let's talk about the cards that can go to two. I agree with you. Side frame. Feel like it does nothing at two at one. At three, just seems I don't know. It's there. Then you always draw one and the fucking whatever. Two is fine. Two is a perfect thing. I don't think anybody's really gonna play side frame gamma. Uh, but what do I know? I also had Misk at
I
two.
would.
I think
I know
I
Sprite would.
think Dino players deserve a resurgence. They need to come back out. Let them play. Let them have some fun. Then take it all away from them again. What was the other one I had? I had Pot of Prosperity to two.
Ooh,
I
Pot of
think
Prosperity.
I think that's it's a long time coming. I feel like We've had it for 3 for too long. I personally feel like Prosperity is the best of all the pots. I know people love them some Pot of Desires. Fucking hate that card. Hate that
I think
card.
Pot of Prosperity is too cracked.
It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah,
I
it's
think at
it
two,
is
it's
it is hands down the best one,
at two.
even over Pot of
You're,
Greed.
yeah, because
Well,
you're
it
digging.
depends.
You
It
could.
depends. Depends. If Pot of Greed is at more than one, then Pot of Greed is obviously infinitely better because it's not once per turn. But if they're all once per turn, or if he gets a ride at a once per turn, or all of them are at one, then if I'm having one pot in my deck, it's going to be Prosperity.
Oh, absolutely. And now the one ups. Heavy Storm. Bring it back. Bring back Heavy Storm.
That's the
I
least
think.
psychotic thing you said.
I
That's like
think.
the
I
one
think.
thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Heavy Storm is a good one to bring to one. I think uh with Harpies running around, uh I mean Heavy Storm does basically what Harpy does, except it also destroys shit on your side of the field too. I don't think there's anything super toxic right now that could abuse Heavy
Not
Storm.
super toxic. Not like Tempai.
Eh, eh.
Man
I didn't
goes,
think about that. I wasn't thinking about that.
who
I wasn't thinking
cares?
about that.
Fuck them,
But
right?
I, I think the one of is good. I think Snake Eye Ash could go to one. I don't think it needs to be outright banned. I think at one
I think putting it to
it
one is
won't.
going to piss people off.
It will piss people off, and that's what needs to happen. Piss them off.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to end the episode early, guys. I can't even fucking get through the
I need
last
to. I
fucking
need
thing
to
we
watch
forgot to
the
talk.
world burn here, and then I. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The only time I'm having fun when I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh is when my opponent is miserable, and I can visibly see the
I
misery in his
have to
face.
see the so like the happiness fleeing
Yeah,
from their
just
body.
leave. So, with that being said, this is the hardest take I've ever had to do. Skill drain to one. Having it at three is nuts. Skill drain does not deserve to be at three. I
Really,
love that card, but
you
does not
screamed
need to
for
be
it
at
at
three.
three.
I know I did,
Who are
but I feel
you,
like
and what have you done
this
with
is
George?
this is too much. I don't deserve to have all this power. It's corrupting me.
Where?
You know what it's like
¿Dónde
to
está
flip one.
Jorge?
You know what it's like to flip one skill drain over and have a second one set for when somebody pops the skill drain, and
I
you hit
do
him
know
with the
what that's
second
like.
skill drain.
You used to do that. I know
It's too
exactly what
much
that's like.
power. It's too much power for one person.
So you're gonna be
Nobody.
like Thanos and just destroy it. This is too much
I
power. I
it,
I
it needs
use
to
the
be.
stones to destroy the stones.
You skill drain to destroy
I
skill
use
drain.
the drain to drain the
Drain
drain.
and drain. We drained the drain dry
That's
with another drain. I think.
definitely
I
what I'm
think.
naming this episode.
Yeah. So skill drain. I feel like gotta go. It has to go.
Okay.
Uh, Forbidden. Uh, Flamberge. I don't think that card
Outright
is long for the
ban
world anymore.
Flamberge.
Just ban Flamberge. I don't think that card is long for the world anymore. I think
I
hitting
I
Flamberge will hit the deck hard enough. Um, I don't. I just think that it's too. I think too many people have left the game because it's become so like just one sided. It's like either you're playing Snake Eye Fiendsmith or you're not. And if you're not, chances are you're not top. Well, you can top, but you're not winning an event without it, which is kind of like takes away. I feel like it takes away from the game. I really don't like a tier zero formats. I'd rather like not know what my opponent is playing rather than this dude is 100% playing the same deck that I played the last three rounds. So him gone, I think is good. I think I
I
don't want it.
yes you do. Yes you do. Don't you
Well,
fucking
yes, I
lie.
do. No, I'm saying the second pick that I was gonna do, Appaloosa. Appaloosa, Bowl of the
Uppo
Goddess is
needs to
gone.
go too.
I don't think she needs to go, but Konami's gonna she's gonna get the Barone on the floor treatment. She's gonna get the Savage Dragon treatment. It's too accessible. You
I mean,
players can't have that
I
much
think
fun.
I think you have to commit way too much to your extra deck to. All right, so the thing with Appaloosa that I think is balanced is it requires it's a link four, like so you have to get to at least two link twos. All right, so you have to get to at least two bodies. So now, if you think about it, if you're trying to use the least amount of resources on the field in hand to get to it, you have to commit cards to your extra deck for it. Cards like Hita or any of the Charmers, cards like Celine, cards that will also get bodies from the graveyard to get or from the deck or hand back to the field so you can keep climbing. So Appaloosa is not something you just throw in by itself. Appaloosa also requires you to have deck building around it. So you need the Celine, you need some Ahita to take some of your opponent's cards. You know what I'm saying? For, as a spellcaster to get up into the Celine, like you need other cards for it. So it's not like if you're playing Apple, you are inherently playing three other slots, like IP, some sort of Charmer, a Celine, you know what I'm saying? There's something in there that you have to
Point.
play with it.
Good
It's
point.
never just Apo. That's why I just
Good
don't think
point.
they're gonna hit it. You can play just a Barone in something like fucking Kashtira, as simple as special Fenrir, search another Fenrir, normal or regular ass hand trap. Boom. Now I've got a negate. You know what I'm saying? And my Fenrir still. So like that's why I can be like, all right, that's a ban worthy card. Appaloosa requires a lot. It's not as much of or sorry, it's not as little as a commitment as Savage or Synchros or any other cards that are just like two
Uh,
bodies, boom, it's done. That one card's out, we're ready to go.
all right. All right. I'll take that one back
It's the
because
way I look at
I
it.
was tied between number 3 spot because I want to
But
take the
hey,
fun away
you
from
know,
both Joseph and Kevin. So
why they
straight up
both
just
they both Apollo in right now?
no. Kevin loves him his Sanctifier Dragon. Ban that bitch.
Yo,
Uh,
that's funny. That's funny.
well, Joe likes to Calamity Lock. Ban that bitch. Get rid of them. My
Those are
boys
all
can't
good
have
picks
fun.
though. Those are all
My
good
boys
picks
cannot
though.
have fun.
Those are all better, I think, than I or more
I'm, and, and it's not
better
because of
for the
anything
format.
else. I just don't want my friends to have fun. Not when you're
Yeah, you're just
playing
being
me.
petty.
Not when,
If nothing but just pure pettiness.
exactly. Not when you're playing me. I, I want you to always draw into and summon these monsters when you're playing anybody else but me.
Mhm. You're fucking
That's it.
wild, dog. I can't attest to your fucking pettiness. Do you think that we're gonna
Oh.
get an estimate? What do you think is the estimated day for the ban list that we're gonna get? Like, do you think it's gonna be because we're dropping this obviously tomorrow? The day of recording is Monday, the what 26th. Yeah, so you think it's gonna be the Tuesday we drop this? Is it
Oh.
gonna be later on this week?
I want to say Tuesday. I'm going to say Tuesday. I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
say
say
Tuesday.
the day we drop. If you're
Yeah.
listening to this, you heard
We're
it from
waking up
George. Not
to
here.
we're
I
waking
can't.
up
I
to
can't
a
solidify that shit. I can't sign. I can't co-sign that. But he's gonna co-sign
yeah, I'm doing I'm calling my uncle.
it.
I'm calling my
I'm
uncle
calling my
like,
uncle
hey,
at Konami, man. It just comes up. This is Squiggies. What? What do you want?
hey, what do you want?
You want the ban list? We don't got the ban list right now. We got
You
more
don't got
Megatin picks.
you
Pick
want
a
it you
couple
want some
cards.
Megaton
We'll give us some QCRs.
you want some Megaton picks? I'll let you have one. We don't got a ban list. Konami, you know Konami. Konami doesn't
You know
like us.
Konami.
That's
Come
just that's
on,
just
you know Konami.
uh good old Squiggy. That's my uncle that works at Konami, by the way.
Oh my god, yeah, whatever you say. He does not work at Konami. I guarantee it. The way he runs that fucking OTS. But I think
Ooh.
Tuesday's a good pick. If it's not Tuesday, it'll be Thursday. It's usually
Yeah.
notoriously like middle of the week. It's usually not on Monday. Usually not on a Friday. But I think that like
Yeah.
that'll be a good time, good enough time for us to kind of get it all out. Like if they wait for another week to drop this,
Uh yeah. I don't
oof. If they
they
drop it on the
shouldn't.
31st, oof. Oof, it better be a good list. Is all I gotta say. And speaking of
Oh,
it, do you think that the ban list will make a difference, like to the people who got gripes, what like the game currently, or like do you even think that like the Megatins, the ban list, none of the shit even really makes a difference? Like the game is too far gone to get more people either involved or the remaining people to stay.
they would have to like honestly, they would have to hit us with a 2019 ban list. So 2019 ban list when they just
2019.
yeah, I
Yeah, it
know
goes
kind
that
of
far in the future. We finally have
2019
dual
ban list.
discs.
They just ban everything. No, it's when they hit us with the when they hit everything on toss, just
They didn't do
everything.
that format.
Yo, it was just like, nah, we're starting over. I think that was the beginning of the pandemic. Really, it started with Konami.
No, I mean, I think that if it's not a good ban list, people are gonna go like super raise hell. I don't think they're gonna complain. I think they're gonna raise hell. I think if even if it's a good ban list, they're gonna have to. They need a lot of reworking, like in the infrastructure part, and it's not a lot that we can do as players from the outside. It's gonna require them to do a lot of like, I would say, soul searching and figure out
It's
how they
soul
want to approach.
searching.
They need to, dog. They need to figure out how the pace of this game is too fast. The power creep is real. I understand it needs to be real, but not at the pace and like the scale it's happening at. You know what I'm saying? Like Flamberge is just Block Dragon 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Block Dragon's on the ban list, but Flamberge isn't, and it does theoretically the same thing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like this thing, if you think about it, Eddie Murphy, put your finger to your head and think. You know, so I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure. You know, the price support is still the same since fucking God knows how long, and we just got the announcement on that, and it's just another verse dragon or whatever the fuck it is or monster, but like they're doing a whole fucking archetype of another verse, and you can catch people like Christian Urena playing another game because they don't give a fuck about that. They already have Pac has switches on deck. Pac went on stream with like 7 switches in his hand, and not even like
that's crazy.
the deadly kind, like the Nintendo kind. You know what I'm saying? Like he had switches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they need to do something about these pricing. The pricing just fucking sucks compared to literally every other game. It's like, come on, do better, Konami. Do better.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be one of those things where it's like Konami needs to step up and do something from the inside. There's nothing that we can do from the outside, especially if they're not gonna like really pay attention. I know they did that thing where they were like asking us at the end of that stream of like, what do you think of like the YCS and like how do you think things are being run? Like, but we'll see if they even give a fuck about it to like really, do something about it.
Yeah, I. It's hard to say. It's hard to
It's
say.
definitely hard
It's
to say.
something.
It is.
Something has to like you said. Like there has to be an uproar. I think before we see anything come from them
These
that's
tins have to be super
impactful.
crazy as far as accessing people the cards. The Megatins or the ban list has to do something about the format, and then they need to do something with the last couple of months that we have as far as spacing out like what we're going to be getting, like as far as like core sets and what how the power cap they're really going to start putting on these cards. So, but as you guys can tell, we are starting to run out of life points. I've had my man George here for far too long, taking all of his time, and I appreciate it. So, just a reminder of all the things above. Make sure to click that link tree link down in the description box below. A tab will come up with all of our social sites. You can click on those and make sure you follow all the ones you like, subscribe to the ones you listen to, comment on everything you've been liking that you've been hearing, and then make sure to share it to a friend so that way you can not only help us grow but help someone else get involved in the conversation or spark something in your group chat that you might normally not talk about, while you're
Hell yeah.
there, also be sure to check out the Discord of our sponsors, Unplugged Gaming over in Manly's, New York. It's also in the description box down below. Be sure to go join all of their TCG communities. So you can be a part of all of them. And then if you do show up in the store, be sure to tell them that the boys over at the Semi Limited Podcast sent you, and they'll be sure to hook you up. And then, as well as our last announcement, you guys already know to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday night, except for last Saturday because we went to his birthday party out in Pulaski, New York. We got an Airbnb, went out there for the night, had a good old time, had some drinks, smoked up, and he celebrated his birthday, which was last Friday for those. So if you're listening now, be sure to comment "Happy Birthday" to Mr. Bradley, aka Mr. Perfect. And also catch him live streaming every Saturday night on Twitch at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link will be provided down below in our link tree as well. Uh, well, big thank you to our guest for coming out and donating his time to the platform. Did you want to give any last minute shout outs, plug ins, final thoughts on the show, anything like that before we close out?
I just appreciate you having me back on here. It's amazing. That's I forgot how much fun this was, and definitely gonna try to jump back on that horse.
Yeah, I'm going to go into group chat and start putting that fire under him. You can join me. Now they can hear it. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening. I am Player X. You've been listening to the Semi Limited Podcast. Good